This morning, we're going to be talking about the power of patience and how we need to stop being in such a rush all the time, trying to get to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. I got to answer these emails. I got to call this person back. I got to get this meeting done. I got to get the workout. Never taking the time to slow down and enjoy what's in front of us. Enjoy the show. Financially free and enjoy more of what the world has to offer in this action one, because this is where most human beings screw the pooch. So a little one-person trampoline, very I hope I screen shared it. Like, there's no excuse. Like, phone numbers are just out there. You just got to pick up the phone, smile, and dial. So good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk Terror Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercise to help make you the absolute best entrepreneur you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning, everyone. We have this episode. It's so perfect for today because yesterday I was talking about the snooze button, and then go figure, I get up later than I wanted to today. My phone died, and my sleep schedule wasn't perfectly on track, so I didn't actually wake up at the exact time I wanted to. And then I'm like kind of scrambling to get some things done to help out some family, and then I'm trying to come back over here and get everything set up. I didn't have the right files and the notes done, so I had to redo them all, and then it's like, oh my gosh. And then you got to go to the bathroom. I ate a bunch last night for a big dinner, and too much information, right? But everything that can cause you to feel like you want to be in a rush, and I'm sure you can relate to this experience of like, holy crap, this needs to slow down, no pun intended. But the power of patience. And then I wanted to go over these 10 reasons why being in a rush is so terrible for us, and how we can enjoy so much more out of life when we just don't feel the need to be somewhere else where we're not at. And we're going to go over some questions and some good morning. Thanks for tuning into the show this morning. We're going to put a couple questions up on the board today. And we're talking about patience. So let's go ahead. Got my handy dandy chalk. Hope you're all having a great morning this morning. So under the term, so we have here, so under patience, we're going to go over 10 reasons. We're going to go over 10 reasons of why being in a rush, that's the key word for this morning, rush. This is bad, the no-go. We don't want to be in a rush anymore. We can be where we are at and completely enjoy our day. Let's start our morning off right by not being in a rush this morning. So we're going to go over 10 reasons why being in a rush is absolutely trash and how patience is powerful. And additionally, so kind of for our question for the day, so we got a cue here. I want to put on there, is my head above my feet? Is my head above my feet? Is my head above my feet? I like this question a lot because it asks us, where is our headspace at? Most suffering is, if we can kind of draw a little bit of a chart here, a little bit of a line. So you are here in the middle. This is you. So we're going to use this as a diaphragm. So this is you. And this is a thought, future thought. Future thought. And then we have past over here. Past, something that's already happened. And usually when people are in the rush, we're more on this side of the equation. And we're thinking about something that we need to be getting done into the future. So you are physically right here, but your mind is here in the future. Our mind drifts into the future, and the gap right here that we're creating is what's causing us to feel all panicky and overwhelmed and a bunch of anxiety. So this gap that we're creating is because our head is not where our actual feet are. And that's what I mean in the physical sense is, are you focused on what you are working? Sorry, I got chalk up my nose. Are you working and thinking about what is in front of you? Or are you thinking about the next thing already? I see this. I work with a lot of people who own businesses, and a common theme that I see in myself, I see in them, is that they're thinking about the next thing all the time. And it absolutely eats them up and destroys them, because they can never really enjoy the work that they're doing right here. And what is even the point of doing all this? They say that the most blessed human is the one who falls in love with people and loves their work. I think Sigmund Freud said that. I've been reading this flow book that I really love, and he just talked about how important it is to be locked in and focused on your career and your work and loving another individual. We had an episode where we went over why those are the two most important things in life, or the things I believe they are: falling in love with people, including yourself, and also falling in love with your work. Absolutely amazing. And so we want to start off with this question this morning, asking, are we where is my head, where my feet are? Or am I drifting off into la la land, telling myself some bullshit story that I got a bunch of external pressure on myself, when that is just not true? It's a story. Or that I need to be thinking about something far into the future, when I can't have two thoughts at once. So if I'm thinking about something into the future, how could I possibly be doing the high quality work I need to do that's in front of me? This is the gap. This is the gap that we drew out on the board that we want to be really careful of. That's causing so much of our suffering. So be careful of this gap. And on this side of the equation is what we'll mainly be talking about today and wanting to avoid. Because when people are in a rush, it tends to be more future-based and then past-based. So let's go ahead and run through these suckers this morning. 10 reasons why I believe being in a rush is total garbage, and how the power of patience can really help us enjoy and improve the quality of our lives. One, why rushing hurts more than helps. So you will increase your stress. This is the guarantee to increase your stress. If you're focused on the next thing, you're in a rush, go, 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 go. This morning, when I was falling behind, I didn't get to really sit down and enjoy my coffee. I was running back and forth. I couldn't get my camera to work for my thing. I couldn't get my audio stuff to connect. I couldn't find my show notes from that I typed up last night. And so I had to redo them this morning. And I'm like, go, go, go. I need the next thing. I need the next thing. And my stress was spiking. And we've talked about on the show how brutal stress is to the human body, and how it literally kills us and causes diseases and all kinds of shit. So the number one reason why rushing hurts more than helps is because it increases stress. Number two, worse decision making. Our decision making abilities drop dramatically when we are just all riled up, stressed out, and just in a rush. I need to do this. I need to do this. So when we're focused on something too far in the future, we can't even see what's in front of us. There's this old story about this boy who's running up a mountain, and he was so locked on the top of the mountain, and he was so obsessed with getting there, he kept tripping on the roots and the branches and the rocks on the way, and he ended up tripping and breaking his ankle because he was too locked on everything that was far ahead of him, and he wasn't paying attention to what was in front of him, and not realizing that there was real terrain, real tasks that he needed to give special attention. Yes, should you pause, say Sunday morning, look at your goals into the future, and then bam, you come back. So, and this can make decision making really tough in the present moment when we feel like we're in a rush. Next up, number 3 is impaired creativity. If you have a hard time being creative like I do, I'm not a super creative individual, but I need to sit down, I need to lock in and write out notes and really think about, look up other YouTube stuff. But without that, and I feel like I'm in a rush. So this morning was being in a rush, and I'm sure that you can think of a morning when you're in a rush. And I'm trying to come up with an idea, and I'm so boiled up with stress, and I don't know what decision to make. And then it really impairs my creativity. This is from me personally. So I don't know, does it impair your creativity when you feel like you're in a rush, or does it help you think of more ideas? I'd be really surprised for the latter. So it impairs creativity, especially if you're trying to create a bunch of social media content, or you're trying to market your products and your brand and stuff for your businesses. Being creative is so vital to stand out today because of competition. But next up is relationships suffer. I want you to think of that family member, that friend, that coworker, or whatever, the one that's always in a rush, going to here and then going to here and then going to here. Are they enjoyable to be around? Do you want to talk to them? If someone's always on to the next thing, and they're essentially telling you to hurry the hell up, say what you got to say so I can go on to move to my big boy important things, how does that help the relationship? I think slowing down and giving someone a listening ear is one of the most powerful things we can do with our relationships, whether this is with your family, your friends, your coworkers, your clients. Being able to slow down and use patience, you have an extra 10 seconds. Whatever it's, unless you're a firefighter, there's really not a whole lot of excuses or occupations. Maybe you work in medicine or something like that. But even then, when you're interacting with your family, your work life doesn't have to carry home to your home life. And that's why we see a lot of people in these types of professions, the relationships don't work out because they're always in a rush. I always got to do this and I always got to do that. And that stuff absolutely kills relationships. So relationships really suffer when we're in a rush all the time. Good morning. Good morning. If you're just now joining us, we're on to reason number 4, why rushing hurts more than helps. And the next one is decreased productivity. People rush, myself included. I will rush to be more productive, but I make so many bad decisions and I lack creativity that it ends up taking me way longer to get everything done anyway. It's a weird paradox of life, but it's very, very true, or I found it to be true in my experience, that it makes no sense to be in a rush all the time because I'm actually decreasing my productivity. So if anything, if you want to be more productive, or that's why you tune into our shows, to be a productive person, what we're all trying to aim is improve our experience. This decreasing of productivity is pretty much sure to guarantee when we're living in this gap of the rush mentality. So I want to be really careful with that. Next up is health suffers. How are you happy and healthy when you're in a rush? Yes or no? Are you happy and healthy when you are in a rush? Probably not. And we just talked about how we had increased stress. We had impaired creativity. Our relationships suffer. These are like the golden nuggets of life. Loving relationships, being creative with my work, not being stressed out, calming the mind. You literally lower your blood pressure when you're not stressed out. So that's why I made number 6 on our list, is our health suffers when we're in a rush. So we need to chill out. The first step is always awareness, right? We've heard this before. We've heard this from all different associations and walks of life. The first step is awareness. So let's just raise awareness to, okay, I'm rushing a little bit right now. Let's slow down. For example, I started this morning show, I think 4 minutes late. It was 8:04. Am I going to beat the crap out of myself for the rest of the day because I started episode 355 4 minutes late because my camera wasn't working? I lost my show notes and all this. No, I'm not going to let my blood boil and ruin my day. It's like, are you going to let that 4 minutes ruin the next 4 hours? Are you going to let it ruin the next 4 days or 4 years? It's crazy how much this stuff lingers and health really suffers. I'm a big believer in that. Oh man, number 7 on the list. So missing enjoyment and appreciation. If you are in a rush, how much joy do you have? How much appreciation do you have for your life? So we can be so stressed. We talked about number one, because I talked about number one, stress, because this is usually the most prevalent, or every client I've talked to, every survey I've taken, everyone tells me that they're stressed when they're in a rush. So we know this. And how in the hell are you going to have appreciation for even the most minute things and the things that give us the most joy in life if we're stressed out? It's pretty much impossible. If I'm stressed out, I am not appreciating the fact of how my body works and how my mind works. Think about how incredible this is for a second. Flow in the mind. I'm reading this book called Flow. I can't pronounce the dude's name. I'll have to put it in the show notes, but really, really good book. And he talks about the flow of the body and how just paying attention to how your hands move and your body moves. And I know I get it. Oh, geez, Tanner, it sounds like some kumbaya shit. But really, if you pay attention to the fact that you can walk, that you can talk, that you can move, that it's all connected in a bunch of different ways. Everyone has no appreciation for it until poof, it's gone. You can't walk anymore. And then you're like, dear God, I can't even stand my existence. I'm beyond miserable. So giving appreciation and it's impossible to be my point is, it's impossible to be in a state of appreciation when we're super stressed out and we're in a rush to do the next thing. So taking the time to be where you are, coming back to that magical question of, is my head above my feet? Am I here where I am at? And trying to have some appreciation and enjoyment. Number 7. Okay, number 8, we're on to what happens. The 8th reason why, if you're just now joining us, good morning, good morning. 10 reasons why rushing hurts more than helps. So we're trying not to be in a rush. We're trying to be a little more patient and present this morning. Is missed learning and growth. There's a lot of depth. If you take any time to pause and to really just open your peripheral vision and take everything in, you can see the depth of life. You can see there's so much more to learn. When you are reading a book, it's really hard to learn if you're not focused on what it is that you're reading on the page. It's so easy to be reading, to be thinking about something over here that I have going on in work. And then when you check back in, you're like, holy crap, I'm 3 pages ahead and I don't even know what I read. This is very common. And this is something that we want to be really careful about, is we need to do activities because we enjoy them, because they bring us joy, and because we appreciate them and what they can do for us in the aspects of learning and growing. So when they're in a rush all the time, we miss out on a lot of learning opportunities. We miss out on a lot of opportunities to grow as people, as individuals. And I would argue that's all we want to do, is we want to grow. Because if you're not growing, you die. It feels like you're dying on the inside anyway. Number 9. So number 9 is less quality. So when we are focused on the next thing, moving on to the next thing, like I got to rush over here, I got to rush back over here, I'm never in the present moment, our quality suffers. This, I think, goes pretty hand in hand with decreased productivity. So less quality, the work that I'm doing. So I write a blog post. I got about 100 of these suckers. I'm really excited to start posting them, but I'm going to do a blog post on this morning show after I'm done with this. And if I'm focused on the next thing, if I'm focused on the next video, if I'm focused on the next piece of content, if I'm focused on anything else but the writing itself, the quality will suffer. So think for yourself what it is that you want to do today. What do you want to get done? And if you pay attention and you focus on it, do you think the quality will improve or decrease? Of course, it'll improve. It'll improve if we give it the time, attention, and focus that we want. And when we do that, we get so much more enjoyment and appreciation, the back end of this point. Last but not least, being in a rush can literally be fatal. Not to be the downer of bad news this morning, but it turns out being in a rush can literally kill you. I'm sure you can think of a number of people who use their cell phone all the time when they're in their car, when they're in a rush to do this, when they're in a rush to do that. People who use heavy machinery will literally be in a rush. I need to hurry up. I need to hurry up. I got to get this done. I got to get that. Boom, slice their freaking arm off. Or more realistically, crash a car or something crazy like that. So can we just slow down? Slow down, everybody. Let's not be in such a rush all the damn time. I want to be here. I want to be locked in on the morning show. I want to be locked in on my writing. I want to be locked in on my coaching sessions. What do you want to lock in on today? What do you want to focus on? What do you want to give patience to? What do you want to get done at a high quality, with creativity, with innovation? Something that really gets you going, gets you excited. And I think paying full attention and not being a rush is a great way to do that. This was 10 reasons why rushing hurts us more than helps us. And if you're just now tuning in, good morning to the show. But we can really see that there is this gap that so many of us live in, myself included. This freaking morning, I was doing it, and it's stressful, kills creativity, makes decision making like impossible. So be careful of this gap. This is where we are. And when you're in a rush, you're thinking too much in the future. You're embodying those future thoughts too much, and it makes the mind go absolutely crazy. And that's just not a good way to go about life. Screw that. Screw that. I'm not doing that. And will I do it sometimes? Yes or yes. Are we going to be in a rush sometimes? Of course. I'm not going to sit here and say like, ooh, kumbaya, I will never be in a rush ever again. Amazing. But it's just part of life. And our goal is to reduce it as much as possible, right? So I'm going to try and reduce it. It even happened to me this morning, but then we let it go. And then we move on to the next. Now we move on to the writing, and then we move on to the coaching, and then we get to enjoy what's in front of us. So will you enjoy what's in front of you, or will you be in a rush the entire day? The choice is yours. This is all I had for today. And in case you needed to hear it, I love you. You're a badass. You got this. Let's slow down. The power of patience is super powerful, and we can take advantage of it. And if you know anyone who could benefit from our message today, please share it and let them know that we go live every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with episodes that help you become a better person. So cheers to that, friends. I'm out of here. I got to bounce. I got a busy Tuesday. Tuesdays are probably my busiest day. So let's get some stuff done. I'm rolling out. Peace out, friends. Have an incredible day. Love you all. And I'll catch you bright and early, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with episode 356 tomorrow. It's going to be a banger. Can't wait for you guys to be there. Tell your friends, tell your family, trying to grow the show. Appreciate it. I'm out. Peace.